action up in double time. James analyzing every line. Paul's out of sync, but they don't care. Three minds tangled, but they're always there.
Step into Hotel Reverie, where the black and white glamour hides more than just secrets. It hides a glitchy AI love story that's equal parts romance and tech nightmare. Are you ready to check in and maybe check out of reality for a bit? That's directed at you and the audience. So. It's funny because that actually used to be the tagline back in the day, the power of escapism.
We've not really used that for a while.
Just kind of fallen by the wayside a wee bit. So welcome to Seismic Cinema. This is the third in our series of Black Mirror Season 7 reviews. And this week we're going to be reviewing Hotel Reverie. So I'm going to work some magic and fire a wee link in this part of the video to our recent reviews of, I think it was it Common? What was it? Normal People? No, Common People.
No, it was Bet Noir before
that. Aye, the first one.
It was Common People.
Okay, because my wife's watching a show, I think it's got a similar title but slightly different, so that just confused me there. So yeah, we've reviewed 2 of the Black Mirror episodes so far. Big celebration this week, James, on Seismic Cinema. We've finally hit the elusive 200 subscribers.
You got in the 200 club, man. It took a while to get there, but we are now, aye.
Let's really hope somebody doesn't unsubscribe this week and bring us back down.
I know they've said that.
I know. It's obviously comparatively, but you can only compare against yourself. But it's quite nice and quite emotional actually to reach 200 when you've been kind of plugging away at it for so long. So
I thought that your eyes looked a bit puffy, mate. That you were crying the other day.
Yeah. So if you're watching this review and you haven't subscribed, you can help us on our way to 300, although that feels far away. So let's say help us on our way to 225 subscribers, and we'll work it that way. Okay, so just before we get into the review, just a reminder that you can find Seismic Cinema on X. I'm just going to say that to be different to James. Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. And you can also listen to us on a range of different platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music. We are part of the Podpack Collective, a group of indie podcasters who keep in touch, share some love, and support each other. And also a wee shout out to the friends of the channel, What's the Script? Just to get in there before James. Recent episodes for us, last one was Groundhog Day, and before that it was Groundhog Day, although it wasn't. I just stole Chat Tsunami's patter there. Betty Noir, the Black Mirror episode before that, and before that it was the Truman Show. And
Who's Betty? Who's Betty Noir?
What is it?
Bet Noir. Betty Noir
sure?
must be a character or somewhere.
No. I thought that was the French pronunciation. Right, James, just before we get into discussing the episode this week, I just wondered what you've been watching in this last week of your school holidays.
Sad times, man. So the holidays are coming to an end, and the viewing of things will come to an end and great as well. So I've watched Jurassic World.
First one?
Well, Jurassic World, the first one. I watched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion, and I've not seen the last one yet, which I just read. It's not even it's not a continuation.
No, it's like a kind of reboot of sorts. That's funny because I've seen the first one and I've seen the newest one in the cinema, and I watched Dominion before I went, but I've not actually seen the Fallen Kingdom one.
So you're telling me you done a Paul then?
I did a Paul, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm Colin. I've usually not seen it. Paul's watched it in the wrong order, and James.
I probably written an essay on it. Or probably written an essay on it. No, this one. No.
That should have came at the start. So.
Aye.
My bad. So you're watching Jurassic World franchise then?
Well, I've done it, mate. Aye, but this obviously the new one I've seen it's in the pictures. So
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema, so
we drink it.
I enjoyed going to see it, but it was a wee bit daft. Like, there was so much plot armor for some of the characters, particularly the wee girl in it. It was fun though. Like, I enjoyed it. It was the first time I've been to the cinema with a wife pre-baby, so it's been a long time. So it was nice from a personal perspective to get to the cinema.
Mm-hmm. I watched the Jurassic World. I've started watching Dexter Resurrection, so the new series of Dexter. I'm on episode 4 now. So I'll end up catching up with it in real time. So I think there's a few more episodes to come out. So I'll kind of catch up with it in real time. So it'll be a week by week basis. So
Cool. Anything else? Was that you?
And obviously for the podcast, Hotel Reverie.
I hope we're getting that pronunciation right.
Hotel Reverie.
I can't know. Reverie.
Hotel Reverie. Just
Yeah.
offended French people.
I've not actually been.
You watching?
I've not been that busy. I've been to the cinema quite a few times during the holidays. I mentioned I've seen Superman. I saw Jurassic World. Probably something else. Actually, yeah, I did. It was just yesterday, actually, or the day before, 2 days ago. Went to see Fantastic Four.
All right. Any good?
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, worth a wee watch. So I saw that. I finally, as I did my YouTube short, I finally watched Happy Gilmore, which is crazy but right on brand. And I watched the second one as well, and I listened to your short about it.
What do you think of the second one, buddy?
I thought it was okay. I didn't really like the main premise about like the kind of surgery that they had, so they could like hit the ball longer. I did like as because I just watched the first one. I did like a lot of the callbacks and different things like that. But I like the kind of family dynamic with him and his kids. But although it's very on brand for the franchise, the way his wife spoilers for Happy Gilmore 2, the way his wife get taken out in like the first minute of the film when she's such a big actress as well.
I didn't expect that. I know what you're saying about the whole kind of the operations for the new golf league and all that sort of thing. But in a way, it's kind of reflective of a real life golf because there's the Saudi golf and all, and people are defecting to that. So I kind of get that kind of mimics kind of real life a wee bit. But as I said in my short, actually, for what it was, mate, I enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? It was never was it going to meet or better the original Happy Gilmore, but it was a fun wee watch.
I'm really glad I've watched it though, because it's one I'd always heard of, and with the sequel coming out, a lot of people were talking about it, and I kept seeing it on Netflix. And I thought I've watched quite a lot of Adam Sandler films over the years, but I just never watched that one.
Aye.
So I've been trying to be a lot more focused. I was kind of a bit all over the place. I had like a documentary to go. I had a long form show, a short form show. So what I'm committing to right now, and I'm about 4 episodes in, is Severance on Apple TV. As I was just saying, so I watched about 4 episodes of that, and I was enjoying it. But I think we talked about it. If I'm completely honest, the amount of episodes, the commitment, I just didn't know if I had that commitment right now.
Aye.
But I did watch 4 episodes of it. So.
Aye. Okay.
But I'm getting more into Severance.
That's fine. That's all right, mate.
Well, you never followed up the Suits pilot, so we're even.
Did I say I was going to watch it, but
You said you might.
aye. It's on the list, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It's 9 seasons as well, so it's equal.
Well, is it 24 episodes a season?
No.
Yeah.
It's like 10 or 12.
Yeah, so that's more doable, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll forgive you, mate.
Maybe. Watch this space. Just not watching, but reading. I bought the 2 Jurassic Park and was it Lost World? Whatever it is. I bought the books because I'd never read the Jurassic Park book, and I'm probably a third of the way through it, and I'm really enjoying it actually.
All right, Michael Crichton.
Yeah. Because I've also downloaded my Kindle another book by him, like before he died, that he did with your namesake. It was him and James Patterson did a book called Eruption.
All right. No heard
Something
of it.
about, something about a volcano or something. It's meant to be really good. So I've got it on the Kindle for the future. So
Right.
you've been getting about.
Is it the? I don't know. Is it anything to do with the film Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones?
No,
No.
it's called Eruption. But that's by the by. I'm enjoying it. I'd recommend reading it if you've not read it. The Jurassic Park book.
I've read the book for years, mate. No, I can read books, but I just can't be
Yeah.
bothered. Do you know what I mean?
I love it. I've always got a book on the go.
What is
Anyway,
it? What is it that Danny DeVito says in Matilda? There's nothing you can get from a book that you can't get from a TV faster. There you go. I love that.
I like both. So, right. Anyway, we'll get into the episode anyway. So, Hotel Reverie is season 7, episode 3. It came in at 1 hour 16 minutes. So that's our target for the length as well. It got 6.7 on IMDb. I can't remember what the other ones got, and it got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it actually scored a bit better on there. It was directed by Haolu Wang, and it was written by the series creator Charlie Brooker. So the synopsis is: a high-tech remake of a vintage British film sends a Hollywood A-list star into another dimension where she must stick to the script if she ever wants to get home. What do you make of that synopsis, first of all? Does it draw you in to watch it?
Again, I think it's a good wee premise. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get on to it obviously shortly, man.
Yeah.
But it's a good premise.
Yeah. I quite obviously we've been working our way through the Black Mirror episodes. I quite like looking at the synopsis just to get a wee flavour of what's coming. The cast is I'm not sure the pronunciation, but it's Issa Rae as Brandy Friday. Brandy Friday is a great name, isn't it?
That's funny.
Emma Corrin as Dorothy Chambers. So that's her kind of real life name, not the character's name. Harriet Walter as Judith Keyworth, who's the kind of studio or executive who kind of owns the rights to the film. And you've got Aquafina, who plays Kimmy. And Emma Corrin was apparently in Deadpool and Wolverine, I think.
Aye, she was the antagonist in that, aye.
Yeah. Okay, so that's just the kind of bit of background about the film. So we'll just get into the kind of start. So basically there's the Kimmy character, isn't she? She's kind of looking for like her next big hit. And she's kind of looking at what her options are. And then she decides she wants to kind of do something with a kind of older vibe and like kind of recreate a classic film. And I don't know about you, see, when I was watching this episode, I was like, is Hotel Reverie like an actual film that they're referencing from the real world? But I don't think it is. Well, it's not.
Nah, I don't think it is, mate.
It wasn't mentioned anyway. So she's like the kind of the studio executive, and she's looking to get a kind of big name actor to play the lead role. And there's quite a lot of Ryan jokes at the start, isn't there?
Aye. Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. But they kind of swiftly turn her down, and part of me was like, are they going to have one of the big hitters in the film? But I think it was more just to kind of set the scene for Brandy Friday, who is more of a kind of fictionalized character. Something I want to get your take on is just the kind of general premise of the episode. So they're wanting to recreate this film, yeah?
Yep.
With a kind of modern twist. But as you go through the episode, and this is something I just wanted to get into at the start, they don't really change. They basically just take the exact original film and substitute in a different actress, which then just creates lots of problems for the plot. I just wondered your take on that kind of side of it.
Aye, I mean, I find it quite strange because when you hear about remakes these days, it's like it's actually different actors that play different characters. Do you know what I mean? And here, it just seems to be one actor
Mm-hmm.
who's been substituted for another actor in the actual film. Obviously, it's the same storyline from before, and these characters, the characters are playing the exact same storyline for them. It's real life. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I found it odd. Like it's not how we don't know how we want a remake to be done. Do you know what I mean? I hate remakes anyway, but like I'm just thinking about actually nowadays the whole black and white thing as well. Do you know what I mean? I understand the idea by keeping it kind of vintage that way because it's black and white. It brings it's like 1940s. It's a good era, and films were particularly good at that point in time. Try to keep back nostalgia moments there, but I don't know. I found it strange, like for folk to go to cinema and see this film with the exact same dialogue. The only difference is that one person's changed, but that character's dialogues are the same. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it would have been the same, obviously. It isn't, but it would have been the same.
If she'd followed the script.
Aye.
No, I just wondered your take on it because it was probably, we don't want to do this at the end, but it was probably my biggest gripe with the episode that it did that what they produced didn't actually make sense. And like, would it have actually have done that well commercially?
Well, people would have went actually to, because it's such a classic, mate, I think people would have went to see it and then realised the actual remake of the film has changed. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a different ending to the film, even though the last line's the same, but there's a different ending to the film. Aye.
So there's a few things to touch on just at the start here. So Brandy is she's looking for a kind of different kind of role, isn't she? Just to get her teeth into, because she has a lot of offers at the start, but she wants something that's a bit more high profile and that'll really get her name out there. And another thing to mention is that the character that she plays is Dr. Alex Palmer, so it's actually a kind of gender swapped role in that sense. And at first, the studio are maybe a bit reluctant to give her the role because of that, but when they find out who she is and that she's quite a well-known name, they decide to give her a shot. So what do you make of that aspect of it in terms of the kind of gender swap, but also just her looking out for that big role?
I don't know, like she seemed to be a very popular actress anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if she needed this. Like some actors out there probably would need a big role to get themselves out there, but by all accounts, it seemed to be that she was already a big name star.
Yeah.
So I don't think that she was wanting to get herself out there as such. I think that it was a draw of the film because she wanted to be in a film of a high profile. But in Hotel Reverie was one that was obviously a classic. She grew up watching it and things like that, and as obviously an actress that she would watch these films anyway because obviously that's what you do. Do you know what I mean? You go and look at kind of films and things like that. So I don't think she needed the role, but she did definitely a big part. In terms of the gender swap, I wasn't really sure how it was going to play, to be honest with you, because I think at the start we were unsure of what's going to happen here. But as it's kind of stated in the actual in the show, like it doesn't really matter what gender you're. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just about Alex Palmer. So whether Alex Palmer's a female or a male, then it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? The love interest will still be there.
Yeah.
So
I think what helped. Sorry, you go.
Because those characters in that film are playing a part, so it doesn't really matter who's in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Programmed.
I think what helped in terms of like the fact that the title's Doctor and Alex is also a unisex name as well, so that probably helped in terms of there not needing to be a definitive like male or female role.
Aye. But it did bring up a good point during it as well, about the obviously she's like a black actress in the 1940s, like that's like and a doctor as well. I don't know like if that they raised eyebrows. Do you know what I mean? And she actually did question that later on, like, but because the characters are programmed, they don't see that as an issue. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, back then, it would have raised a lot of questions, but here it doesn't matter because how again it's the AI of it all and the constructs.
So once she gets appointed to the role, she receives like a introduction package, doesn't she? I think she gets like a DVD of the film.
Aye.
And does she get a script? Yeah, she gets her lines to learn.
She got the phone call to say that that she's going to start, basically acting like for the film next Monday or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she got the script there and then.
Yeah, but there's one aspect of it she doesn't check out, which is basically what she's signing up for. So she doesn't realize that she's going to be using the Redream technology, which will actually put her consciousness into that location. So she'll actually be transported back to the 1940s. And as you said, all the characters are basically their speaking lines are NPCs. And she doesn't really have a chance to react, does she? She's kind of like walking through like hair and makeup, and then suddenly she's just getting plugged into the machine and off she goes.
Plugged into the Matrix, mate. No, because the flash drive that comes out the back falls in the flyer, or the floor, I should say, and she doesn't see it, so she doesn't know what she's signed up for. Do you know what I mean? So all she's got is her lines to memorise, and then goes to the place, and it's like, oh, this is what you're doing. So okay, I'm surprised for her. Do you know what I mean? But it was pretty rushed, and they only had it for 2 hours as well. Did the studio? That was also told to us as well.
It was a real rush job from start to finish. So I think one of the big talking points of this episode is the ethics of the technology, and obviously the kind of recent episode we watched about the one where people could like sign up to higher tiers to like experience different things and
coin people.
The different tiers, so it kind of links into that one as well. But what did you make about this technology then, where you're actually putting people into this kind of like past, but also kind of it's a bit like it reminds me of more. Obviously, there's the AI aspect of it, but it kind of reminds you of VR a wee bit as well, where you're just like becoming totally caught up in the surroundings, like with I've been Darth Vader, I've been Spider-Man, and I've only had a couple of shots of the VR, but it fits a lot nicer now with kind of modern technology, doesn't it?
Strangely enough, I've not had a shot of VR before. Do you know what I mean? So I've not had any kind of experiences with that. But I think it depends on the situation, to be honest with you, man. Like, I was thinking about it, like, if I was getting a computer game, like, I would, like, imagine getting put into, like, GTA or something like that, and you're running about, like, stealing motors and things like that, or you're being put into FIFA, or you're being put into, like, Call of Duty. So I think it all depends if it's a gaming environment, if you would enjoy it or not. I mean, for me to go into I don't know. I think it depends as well, because whatever you say or do in that moment changes the events of what happens in that moment. and the butterfly effect tends to kind of move. So I mean, so if you miss a line or say the wrong thing, then what's going to be the repercussions of that? Do you know what I mean? So I think it'd be pretty scary, to be honest with you, mate. But I don't know. I think it's something that could be down the line, mate. To be honest with you, no, it's not to this degree, obviously, but I think it's something that we could say augmented reality, virtual reality, like that's going to be far away, just in some degree. Do you know what I mean?
But the actors that are using it, although she missed the memo, essentially, they are agreeing to it, and they should know what's happening going in. So it shouldn't really be a surprise in that sense.
No, but because she didn't see what it was about,
she probably still signed something though. Somewhere.
She might have signed something at the office. It was all confidential, they said. Do you know what I mean? Like she asked a question about who's playing the other parts. It was all confidential. So I think if she maybe seen what the contents of the flash drive, I think it would be a different outcome. I don't think she would have done it. But because she was there in that moment, it felt like she had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was all kind of like, oh, there you go, like lie there, and this is what we're going to do. You know your lines, don't you? So it was like bump, bump, bump. There you are, you're in. So
it's kind of like when somebody arrives late to like a Broadway show, and they're just getting rushed through the hair and makeup, given their script and sent out there. Just it's that kind of just rushed aspect, isn't it?
Aye, or you can link it back to Jingle All the Way. Remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger comes into to Turbo Man and they're like put the costume on them and all that.
And also we did review Jingle All the Way, so you should check that one out.
Indeed.
I'm not frantically scribbling down Jingle All the Way 26 minutes. So she's she gets her consciousness obviously put into the film, and then she basically has to start, just as you said, they've got a time pressure, so they're just starting to work their way through the play, and she has to take on the lines of Dr. Alex Palmer, and she's struggling quite a bit with it at first, isn't she?
Aye,
just to get into the swing of it, obviously, with the shock.
I think she's put into the environment of the actual film itself. It's got characters who are frozen. Do you know what I mean? Because the film's not started yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's just like standing about, like what's going on here? But she's communicating constantly with Kimmy.
Yeah.
Telling her what's going to happen, kind of talking her through what's going to be, what the next kind of scenes are and all that sort of thing. But as a wee delay in that. But she does get used to it, of course. Do you know what I mean? But I think she's got to be thinking fast as well. Do you know what I mean? And I do think it's quite impressive because in the room, in the studio, they've got the old film alongside, side by side with the new film.
Yeah.
They've got obviously the lines are said at the exact same time, which I find as well. Like I looked at it again because I watched it twice, and I'm like, these are like word for word perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like how's that? I mean, I would be kind of thrown by it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know what you thought about
that. Well, obviously the AI characters at that point don't really know any different, but obviously when Brandy's performing, she's not probably going to see that, really. So she won't really be aware of that.
No, but when you see, for the studio point of view, you've seen the lines appear on the screen at the exact same time as they're said. Like, there's not even any kind of delays. I just found that a bit odd. Like, if I was Brandy, I'd be like, like maybe kind of pausing it for a bit longer or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Maybe
it's just about me. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe they cut it, like edited it as they went along, because I think that's what they were doing as well.
probably.
So,
Yeah.
as you said, she's starting to get to grips with it, but then the kind of ripples start to appear. So the first one is when her character is meant to be playing the piano, and then it quickly becomes apparent that she can't. And that, because throughout the film you see it shows you like the plot, doesn't it? It shows you like the character dynamics, and there's like different scales, isn't there? And it shows that as it goes along. And if something goes wrong, which it frequently does, it kind of puts it down. If something strikes quite well, it goes up. And then her not playing piano does have that kind of butterfly effect, because it's that piano skills that kind of draws Clara towards Brandy and kind of leads to them starting to build their relationship. So it just kind of throws a spanner in the works.
I was thinking the first bit that kind of goes in a different direction from the actual film itself, because Brandy can't play the piano, and Kimmy's like, "Oh, I thought you could play the piano. You played it in this film." He's like, "But that was obviously an edit." Do you know what I mean? Like they made it sound like I could. And then she plays the piano quite badly. I did laugh when she started playing chopsticks. I was like, "Yes, big."
It's kind of poor planning on the studio's part, though, because surely they should have looked into whether she could do these things.
Aye, and not just take
Or,
it for granted.
as you say, maybe they thought she could do it because she'd done it in another film.
Aye. But she plays the piano badly. Obviously, that has a ripple effect on basically what happens to Clara.
Yeah.
But the scale you're talking about, mate, is this the kind of romantic scale, isn't it? It goes from red to green and all that sort of thing, and you can see
there's also a bit of it. Is it plot integrity or something as well?
Aye. So it's all kind of
Yeah.
the scale. If it goes to red or whatever, obviously it'll crash or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I did like the technological aspects of this one, like those kind of things where it's reacting in real time to what's going on as well.
Aye.
I wish we had that on the podcast. If it shows you like engagement as we're recording it, that'd be quite useful. So that's we need to do one at some point. So that's the kind of first issue, but it's obviously worth noting that the main premise of the film is that Clara's husband's trying to kill her. And there's multiple different attempts throughout the film, and one of them quite clearly goes wrong, and this is a bit that James particularly won't like, and John Wick as well, where the dog gets poisoned by accident.
Yeah, that's something me and John Wick have in common.
Yeah. PK as well.
So the Black Rose, they called it, the drink.
Mm-hmm.
So they poisoned the drink, but obviously she's getting in the rear. Murder attempt 1, puts the drink on the floor. But that's different for the original plot, and she takes it away, didn't she, or something like that? I can't remember what happens. But that means the dog eventually, will smell the drink, and he'll drink it, or she'll drink it. I can't remember the gender of the dog now. But the dog dies. Aye, so it was a bit of a shocker. But in actual fact, it was a woman who drank it, and she died, wasn't it? The old woman.
And that's how
she met the doctor and all that sort of thing. But because the dog drank the poison, she couldn't meet the doctor, and the plot came down that way. Do you know what I mean? So, aye.
I don't think that part of the film is that important. I feel like that's just the kind of background. Obviously, the main plot's about the relationship between Brandy and Clara, and that's the bits that stuck with me a bit more. I don't know about you. I don't really remember the movie plot as much, because I don't think that's as important.
Well, it becomes important because in order for Brandy to get out, she has to say the last line.
No, I know that the plot of the movie is important. What I mean is it's not the biggest takeaways. Like the most memorable aspects of the episode is more the character relations rather than the parts of the story. That's just for me personally, but
no, of course it is, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but obviously the all bits all kind of linked together. So Brandy's going from one disaster to the next, and our next one is where she calls Clara by her real name, which is Dorothy Chambers, who's also a really well-known actress, but it's also quite public knowledge that she died as well by act of suicide.
Yep.
And you see later on, because Dorothy / Clara starts to kind of tap into her memories, and you see wee clips of her having she had a kind of love or a kind of relationship with another woman on one of the sets of her films, and then there's stuff about her in the news, and she kind of tragically takes her own life. But how this is played off is that the real life story of Dorothy's been kind of fed into the AI systems, and that's kind of how it's explained that Clara starts to get that kind of real world knowledge and start to question things.
Aye, because when Brandy called Clara Dorothy, it fed into the AI, the algorithm, and it brought into the Dorothy's kind of life and brought it into the film. And that started kind of to throw off a few things as well, because there were certain lines that Brandy had to say, but in actual fact Clara said it instead, because that was bringing her true feelings out as well. Do you know what I mean? So, but again, we do see obviously later on when as time freezes, Dorothy's character evolving into Clara, and they kind of become one to a kind of certain degree, don't they? So, that's a good take. I like that aspect of it, that because it's true, because artificial intelligence is a learning machine. Do you know what I mean? So it learns, and then it takes stuff off the internet, and then it'll just kind of build on it. Machine learning,
training models, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was a good aspect of that.
I thought it was a really strong part of the film. See, when you see Clara kind of learning about the actress's past, and it shows you because there's no dialogue really. It's all just kind of visuals and newspaper clippings and different things. But I think it quite clearly shows what happens to the actress.
It does. I think Brandy as well went on YouTube or something similar to YouTube and clicked on links to Dorothy and that as well, and seen what she was like. And I think there was something at the start, was it like an audition or something like that as well, like because she picked up the phone. So again,
comes into play later on as well.
Yes. So it brings it. So we do see that obviously she took her own life, due to personal circumstances. Do you know what I mean? So, it's a real shame that had to be done.
Yeah. So Clara is obviously, much to the surprise and horror of the production team, is starting to gain a bit of kind of consciousness and is starting to become more self-aware, more than the kind of AI character should be. And this is what leads to Brandy being essentially trapped, as you mentioned earlier, in the simulation. So she can't leave, or her body will die until the credits roll, which is cued by the phrase "I'll be yours forevermore," which is obviously mentioned earlier on in the episode. So that kind of sets the stakes, doesn't it? That essentially she can't leave until she says this and gets to this point, but she obviously has a few more hoops to get to that point.
Because that line is said in the studio and things like that as well, because they talk about how big a film Hotel Reverie was in the day, and talk about iconic lines of films. Like we do it all the time. Do you know what I mean? We speak about iconic lines, and it's that line of you all remember that film for that line. Do you know what I mean? And this is one of them. Obviously, "I'll be yours forevermore" was what the line was, but she does have to get through obviously she had to go through all the murder attempts on Clara first before she can get there. Albeit the story changing slightly because of the actions of Brandy before.
Yeah, because there was a guy, was it not like a henchman guy in a cupboard or something?
Aye, he was wearing a fez, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's where my name comes from, Mustafa, the henchman. from Austin
Okay.
Powers, Will Ferrell's character.
I see. It's a deep dive. So it's as Clara becomes more aware, this is what also starts to get her and Brandy. They start to become a wee bit closer at that point, and they start to talk and get to know each other. And then they have their first kind of romance scene where they share a kiss, and both characters are quite getting into it. I think is it Judith Keyworth, the creator of the original film, she said it was a bit more. What was her word?
I don't know.
It was a bit more like raunchy than the original or something like that.
Well, things were getting hot and heavy, mate. So they were, I'll tell you that for sure. But I think before that, though, they had their wee kind of, because they talked about the montage, didn't they? They went to, they went to the pyramids and all that sort of stuff, didn't they? On camels.
Set in Egypt, yeah.
Aye. So they did a wee montage, and it's like, oh, you're going to feel like you've been kind of teleported or something like that. When as she was going through the different kind of scenes in the montage, you kind of seen Brandy's face, kind of like, what's happening here? Do you know what I mean? It was like scenes in a car, scenes in a camel, and things like that. But after that day together they had, things were getting a wee bit kind of hot and heavy in the bedroom. Do you know what I mean? But I think that I meant to say as well, because Brandy, who's Alex Palmer in the film, was meant to ask if she could come along, but Clara reversed that question, and she asked Brandy that. Do you know what I mean? So
I think that was the first time that she went off script.
Yep, that's the. But even then, as well, didn't Brandy say something like, "Oh, Clara touched my leg" or something like that, or touched my arm? I can't remember what she said. And she said, "No, I wouldn't do that." But Brandy was certain that happened. That happened in the first scene. But she went off script, mate, and then obviously in the bedroom, the Murder Attempt 2 was a scorpion. It was released by I don't remember the guy's name now, but we'll call him Mustafa because that's how he put me in mind of. Her husband's henchman. So, but as things are getting, a wee bit kind of raunchy, as you called it, time starts to freeze, isn't it? And why is that?
Because Ralph got a wee bit distracted and knocked his coffee all over the tech.
He's took the phone to have coffee near the computer.
And it's probably the most important action of the movie, probably. I think this is what really puts the cats among the pigeons, is that the phrase?
Aye, because without that happening, then the relationship between Brandy and Clara would flourish. I mean, they wouldn't spend that time together, getting to know one another and doing things. It would just be plodding along as normal. So the kind of Brandy kind of found love, didn't she, in there, and she kind of has Ralph to thank for that.
And the relationship probably would have still developed, but not to the kind of speed and the extent as well. What's interesting here, and I wondered your take on this, why did Brandy and Clara not freeze and everyone else does? Is it because they were in the scene when it happened? Or do you not think it's a bit odd that they're the only ones that remain? Obviously it's needed for plot purposes, but...
Well, I don't think Brandy can freeze, mate, because she's been put into it. I think it was just... So... I think it's because Clara was maybe speaking, or maybe she was in the scene like was you're saying there. So they were both on set as the scene was being played out, and that's why. So if there's more characters in there, then they would have possibly been, not frozen. But Mustafa, who was outside the door, wasn't in the scene at the time, so he doesn't count. So as they opened the door, he was there, just like kind of at the door.
Yeah.
It's frozen, do you know what I mean? So I think that's why.
It's kind of like when your TV freezes. Say you're watching a movie or someone's watching this podcast on their TV. If this froze, me and you're the only ones on the screen, right? So I suppose it would make sense that we're the only ones that can have that conversation while everyone else is
Aye,
out of there.
indeed. There you go. We've got to the bottom of it.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the only ones. Oh, I just had a thought and it's disappeared. Oh yeah, see the bit where Clara starts to find out about Dorothy's kind of outside life. It reminded me a wee bit of when, because we obviously reviewed it recently in the Truman Show, when he's starting to find out what's happening outside of his area, you know.
Aye, in a sense that she's trapped in that film, given those lines, given
like he was trapped in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right, mate.
We didn't intentionally do this, but it worked out.
And you can write down the Truman Show at 45 minutes.
Give me a second.
Oh man,
we're so meta, it's unreal.
Again, it was quite important, obviously. That, do you know what I mean? Like, it's they get to be kind of more kind of authentic with each other, because Brandy's telling Clara that this is not real. Do you know what I mean? This is all a movie set and things like that, and then basically saying there's nobody talking back to me here. I am here alone with you, and it starts to kind of, you know, it kind of shifts it from a film kind of to be more sincere and to be more authentic. Do you know what I mean? Of emotions and things like that.
And they start to build that really strong relationship as well.
Aye.
But there's a point, and this is a bit worth discussing, was where Brandy asks Clara if the feelings are real or if she's programmed to feel that way. But I think we can maybe answered it earlier that she's like AI. She's kind of learning, through learning more about herself and kind of learning more about each other. So I think it, in a weird way, I think it was real. That's my kind of take on it, like the way it developed.
Aye, no, I think you're right. There's also like the bit is like when they go to the archive room where she sees all the memories of Dorothy. You know what I mean? Like I think we spoke about it before anyway, but the kind of interview reels, the letters, the voice notes,
newspaper clippings,
the photo with a woman and all that in a locket. And there's a line in the background: "They would never let me love her on screen." So it's kind of like telling you again why she died. Do you know what I mean? Why she took her own life and things like that. So in a way, like, you're right, mate. It's like can you imagine like being in a place and then looking into a room with all that stuff and going, right, that's me, and why am I here? Do you know what I mean? Like it must be like, wow. I could imagine that. Like
you could see the emotions hitting her, couldn't you, as you went along?
Definitely, mate.
It's also worth mentioning that there's the whole part where Brandy's trying to explain to Clara that she kind of isn't real and that she's within a simulation. And at first she's not buying it and not kind of understanding it. And it does take a bit of time to wear her down and explain it to her.
I understand that. Do you know what I mean? Like how again, we spoke about this before, like in the Truman Show and things. Like if someone to come to you now and say, "By the way, this was no real," would you believe them? You don't have any evidence on the contrary to think it's not real. Do you know what I mean? So unless they provide you with evidence that it's not real, then you're going to believe it's real because you've been living it for 40 years. Do you know what I mean?
It's also quite, and there seems to be a lot of links. I'm just going to write down 49 minutes because I'm building up to something here. There seems to be a lot of links. There seems to be a lot of links between this episode and things that we've reviewed recently, because I feel like literal months pass while Clara and Brandy are in the simulation together, and it kind of reminds me of Groundhog Day, how we had that discussion last week about how many days or weeks that he'd spent in that loop. You'll be loving all these computing links to the recent episodes, I would have thought.
Aye, I do like these. Must do. I must do like these episodes. I could maybe,
Yeah.
maybe show them in class certainly, but there's good technologies there. Do you know what I mean? Like functionality and all that.
But yeah, it's got that link to Groundhog Day in terms of time passing in unnatural ways, with characters not really realizing it, because he knew the time was passing, but see the people in Groundhog Day, they were kind of like the NPCs of this, weren't they? They didn't realize that they'd done this before and that things were going to happen in a certain way. So it's quite similar, actually, if you think about it.
No, as like the whole kind of an update, like just them doing the same thing. Is definitely, because like Inception, mate. Because I know, like we dream.
God, I need the sentence to write down all these episodes.
So Inception, we dream, right? But we experience dreams for a lot longer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's only maybe minutes, hours are going past. So for the actual for Kimmy and all that in the studio, like it's only I don't know, like maybe
minutes. Says less than an hour.
Aye, so less than an hour.
Yeah.
But for them, it's days and weeks, isn't it? So it just shows you in a dream state how much you can get done, because there's a montage of stuff they do. So they share food in a candlelit table. They Clara paints Brandy in a portrait. They dance in the ballroom. We reenact scenes from old films, and we've got I think Brandy teaches Clara to swear as well. So there's different. Again, all this can't be done in an hour. Do you know what I mean? So it shows you the time built between the two of them in this frozen part of time.
A bit like the ice sculptures and the piano playing.
Piano playing. Oh, yeah.
Another Groundhog Day reference.
Oh, God.
You might actually say the coffee spill in this episode is like the blizzard in Groundhog Day.
There you go. Aye, they're meant to be. Huh?
It's just funny. It literally wasn't planned by us, but there's just a lot of overlaps between these movies and this show.
It's a happy coincidence.
That's what it's all about. So they were obviously having a really good time getting to know each other. In the real world, they're working frantically because there's a lot of money invested in this, and there's the time pressures, as mentioned earlier, and they're wanting to get everything up and running again, and they do. But tragically, and it's probably like the most emotional moment of the film, or maybe one of two, is that Clara's mind's essentially wiped, but Brandy remembers everything that happened, obviously, because she's the real person in this scenario. What did you make of that part where Clara's memories all disappearing? There again, it's just like Groundhog Day when he keeps meeting, he keeps going out on the dates and repeating the information he's found out.
It's a shame. Do you know what I mean? Because I think because the Dorothy, a real character, a real name, a real person is being fed into Clara, and she's beginning to kind of feel the way that she can feel, be herself, basically. Do you know what I mean? She wasn't allowed to be herself before, and she could be herself in this part of time. Also, it's a shame for her getting her memory right. It's obviously for the film to and the plot to move on, it had to be done. I understand that, but for a person's point of view and a kind of ethical, like to wipe the memory of someone is wrong, isn't it? Like all those times, good and bad times, till during that time, to be gone in an instant, and where someone can remember them all, and it's a shame. But also, I think as well, and I thought about this, she couldn't be herself in the real world. And the moment she can be herself in the dream world, if you want to call it that, then that again has been taken away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in all ways she's getting what she wants, what she desires, taken away from her. So it's a bit crap, mate. You know what I mean? But again, Brandy, who could remember everything through all those times, has to act this film in a more emotional state of mind because she's fallen in love with her, and like she doesn't know how she doesn't know how to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like because for them it's been weeks. You know what I mean?
It probably enhanced her performance, though. Like if she is acting with that increased emotion and depth, then it's only going to lead to her producing a more, like, a stronger portrayal.
Yeah.
Because
fair emotional standpoint, absolutely.
Because when you think about what we talked earlier, where it keeps showing the plot and showing the relationships, like it was eating a lot of this stuff up, wasn't it?
Aye, no, definitely. That's what it wanted. It wanted that. It wanted that. The romantic plot to be green and mimicking the same kind of vibes as the first original film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, as you said, they kind of bring the in-show movie plot to the end. So you finally see a bit more. Because you don't really see that much of Claude, do you? Clara's husband, for the episode. But he's there at the end, and he takes... This bit was quite crazy, really. He takes Clara up to the roof, and he's showing her like the views of Egypt, and then he's like trying to essentially push her off the building, isn't he?
Aye, he does.
He's not very subtle about it.
No, they plan it, don't they? They plan because Randy overhears it and then goes and tells the doctor or something like that. I can't remember now. And then
there's that whole bit with the doctor and the woman and the dog and all that kind of stuff.
Aye, but up on the roof and then
the allergies.
Aye, but ends up that Clara shoots Claude. Again, a different for the ending, isn't it? Because like,
no, it's Clara shoots Claude. Then
that's what I said.
Did you? I thought you said Brandy.
No, Clara. Aye, did I? I know Clara shoots Claude. Aye, and then like the police are coming to take her away and all that sort of stuff. When like that's the way the film ends. It's way off plot now. Like it's totally. But again, it's bringing back this kind of moment between them both. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it shows that it didn't disappear completely because she had to have wee remnants of memories. Like she would still have remembered the relationship with Brandy's character up to that point in the film, even with the memory wipe.
Aye.
But there was obvious signs that that connection was still there towards the end of the film.
Aye, well, there was kind of glitches as well, wasn't there? Because they talk about do you remember anything? I think she asked her that as well. Yeah. And she said, "Yeah, I remember you play beautifully." So again, there was that kind of moment between them as well because she didn't play beautifully. She was horrible playing the piano, but there was kind of flashes of that performance in the future in that frozen state that she could remember.
So after Clara shoots Claude, the police kill Clara, who then dies in Brandy's arm, and she's like, Brandy's really bought into this relationship. She's obviously kind of disconnected from the reality of her life within this simulation, and she's cradling Clara's body in the studio or in her ear, aren't they? Saying like, it's a bit like the episode of The Simpsons. It's like, say the line, Bart. Is it I didn't do it?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
More Simpsons.
Simpsons. We reviewed that. Yeah, Simpsons. I'm going to be busy. So she does. She's like crying and really emotional, but I think she knows at that point Clara's gone regardless. And if she doesn't say the line, she's stuck in there forever, because when there's a bit of doubt whether she's going to say it or not, her real body starts to go into like shock, doesn't it?
Aye,
And
but she
stuff.
says, say the line,
Yeah.
say the line. But there's I don't know, I think there's a bit of symbolism here, mate, because like where, like, she takes the bullet, doesn't she, Clara? And it's like she kind of acted on love in that moment, in that film, where she couldn't really do that in actual real life. Do you know what I mean? So she was kind of again bringing that act into the film, which I found anyway. Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
But because she kind of freezes herself because she doesn't want to really say the line, because then she leaves Clara behind, and it's like, well, Clara's getting left behind anyway because she's dying. But she had to say the line or she was stuck in there. But she says the line, "I'll be yours forevermore." Which, like, then she gets pulled out, but she leaves Clara behind, and not just Clara behind, but all of her emotions, because again, she'll remember everything of that. Do you know what I mean? It's everything that she went through.
Yeah, because you see her, don't you, during like the press and the release of the film. She's in like a car with like press taking photos and stuff, but she looks really down, and she's obviously not over this. In the conclusion to the film, there's a couple of references to another episode of Black Mirror. One that I actually did an episode with casting views on. So there's a couple of nods to San Junipero in this one. Before we get to that point, I didn't really think about it when I was watching it. It only became apparent once the references came out, because I'm not that clever. Did you see the parallels to San Junipero while you were watching this, or did it just get you thinking about it when you saw the end?
Yeah, when I saw the end, obviously San Junipero's the kind of plugged in, isn't it? So I wasn't until the very end, because really,
because they're going back to, in San Junipero, they also go back to the past. There's like intense relationships between two of the major characters. And one of the characters, spoilers for San Junipero, one of the characters at least, that, or do they both that? I can't really remember how it ends, to be honest. But yeah, the two references was Brandy lives in Junipero Drive, is her address.
That's right.
And also the technology they used for the Redream technology was created by the same company that made the technology for San Junipero episode. So
there's also one as well. Like, see when they're in the office, at the very start, when she was talking to the two Ryans and stuff like that, the assistant comes in and says about Streamberry on the line.
Yeah,
which is
I heard that one. Yeah, because it's them that's kind of distributing the film, isn't it?
Aye,
because that's obviously from the Joanna's Awful episode.
Yeah,
season 6, episode 1. So just while we're on the topic, there was a few other references. I'm not that clever. I didn't see them when I was doing it, but did my research. The episode I really enjoyed from season 6 was the Loch Henry one, the one that was filmed near where I live.
Yeah,
and the two main characters from that episode are actually on the kind of YouTube sidebar, apparently. Pia and Davis or something like that. So they're on the kind of search history at the side. Apparently, there's also a White Bear poster in Keyworth's office.
Nice.
And the tech guy for the studio, he wore a Space Fleet t-shirt, which is the kind of company from USS Callister, which you're going to be reviewing the sequel in the near future, or hosting it.
Is it next, aye?
No, it's the last one of this season, so it's a couple away, but it's one you're going to be doing.
Cool.
Just trying to see if there's any more. I think we've kind of covered them. So yeah, we'll just get to the last bit of the film. So she receives a a package, and it's actually it's a phone. And you mentioned it earlier. There's a scene where Clara's kind of on the phone. It's kind of like outtakes essentially. But what this phone does, it's like a really clever use of AI in it. It kind of reminds you of like the role of AI as like a companion. And I'm seeing stuff in the news about people having like AI boyfriends and girlfriends and all this kind of crazy stuff. But she can essentially phone the kind of 1940s version of Clara or Dorothy, and they have like a really nice, what was it she said? She's like, you've got a really nice voice, so I've got all day or something like that.
Wow.
I've got all the time in the world. And you obviously see Brandy's really devastated, so it's obviously shown that this kind of technology can help people kind of maybe in that kind of similar position. What did you make of the kind of ending scene?
I think it's kind of bittersweet, isn't it, at the end of the day? Do you know what I mean? Like, because obviously we've got Brandy's memories of all the things that happened, and we've got so then Clara, who is just on the phone but not realising what's happened before. Do you know what I mean? I think it's, I don't know, I think it's like a place for Brandy to kind of, I don't know, is it a piece? I don't know. Like it, like because she was heartbroken, wasn't she? So like to be able to speak to her and see her. Look, could she see her? Was it on the computer? I can't remember.
I think she could see her and talk to her, yeah.
Aye.
Because it showed you that outtake, but it was different because it was based on the actual conversation.
Aye. It's a kind of somewhere to return. She could speak to her whenever she wanted to. Do you know what I mean? And kind of get, I suppose, kind of get in her and things like that. And I don't know. It might. I don't know. I think it was nice to see that it wasn't a tragic ending for like it could have been a lot worse. But she could at least speak to her. Do you know what I mean? And see her, which it would be nice for her.
It's kind of surprising ending. I didn't see that ending coming.
No,
it was a good way to call back to the bit with the phone earlier as well, I suppose. Does the phone ring? Does she, from memory, does she speak on the phone in that kind of outtake? Because it could be kind of foreshadowing, I suppose, of what happens at the end.
I don't was there an outtake? I didn't see the outtake.
Remember they show Clara like messing about and like chatting off camera? They show you earlier in the episode.
I seen that. I don't know.
Maybe have to look back on it. Yeah. So that concludes Hotel Reverie, and got one comment from a Seismic supporter, which is good old Chat Tsunami. So honestly, would not be surprised if companies started doing this in the future by digitally imposing modern actors into older films in the next 5 to 10 years. You mentioned something similar earlier. Besides, we already have AI girlfriends running rampant, so this isn't that far-fetched. What do you make of that comment?
I don't know. I've got an idea what an AI girlfriend or boyfriend entails. Do you know what I mean? But it's I do see something like this possibly happen. I think 5 to 10 years is a bit soon, but I think it's certainly something that can happen.
So so thank you, Chat Tsunami, for your comment, and thank you for your continued support of us. You're always tagging us and sharing really kind messages, so you guys should make sure you check them out. It's a variety podcast that covers a wide range of different topics, and the productivity and prolific nature of Chat Tsunami is something to be applauded.
Absolutely, mate.
The variety
is just the amount of episodes as well, like people just chilling out. Do you know what I mean? I think it's
really good, yeah. Right, so this is the point of the episode where we give our seismic stars, which is where we're rating this one episode just on its own merits. We're not comparing it to other Black Mirror episodes. We're just giving it a score. And I have a score written down, but as I say to you every week, once we've actually went into the nitty gritty of the episode or movie, it does change your mind a wee bit. So I think I'm going to up it by 1 point. I'm going to give it an 8.
Oofed.
I originally had a 7.
Okay.
But I'll hear what you're going to give it.
I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay. So it's not far off what I originally put. I'm quite surprised because there was a lot of kind of AI aspects of it I thought you'd have really enjoyed. And
I'm not going to lie, mate. I think, let's say, the premise is good. Same with last one, Bet Noir. I love the premise, but I found it quite difficult to watch initially when I put it on, mate.
Because of the black and white aspect?
I think so. And I just found it quite difficult to watch. I think it got better when time froze and we seen that the kind of characters kind of building with each other. Now when I watched it again, I enjoyed it more the second time.
I'm going to give it a 7.
I also thought the actor who played Brandy Friday wasn't very good.
That's funny because see, when I looked on IMDb, every single review was properly slating her. But
all right,
she's basically an actor playing an actor. She's an actor playing an actor playing a character. So it's how much of her performance is her and how much is the characters.
I get that as well, mate. Because obviously I get the act of being surprised and things like that in a setting, and then things change quite dramatically. I don't know. I understand that. Maybe I'm being too critical, too harsh. I just found that a wee bit, okay. I'm not really sure at that facial expression or how she's talking or what she's saying here. I don't know.
I kind of thought that as well, but I feel like she probably was meant to be a bit of a fish out of water because she's a modern day person in a really old film. And everyone else is AI and she's a human. I can see it from both perspectives, I suppose.
Aye. And like I say, I don't know what I'd be like in a situation like that. So potentially, do you know what I mean? It was all new to her because she didn't know. Again, I'm saying it was bad acting, but I'm kind of saying why it was.
Uh-huh.
I think I don't know. She didn't know what she was getting herself into at the end of the day because she didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
So I don't know, mate. So maybe it was part of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 7 on reflection because when I think about Black Mirror episodes, I would have given an 8 too. I probably didn't like this as much as that, but I did think it was pretty decent. As you say, I liked the premise. I thought the kind of growing relationship was really strong. The kind of ethical aspects of the technology, and I thought the ending with the phone was pretty good as well. I liked it a lot better than the last one.
Oh, definitely.
But probably Common People's probably still my favourite of the 3 so far.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
And this is second, and then Betty Noir's third.
Betty Noir.
Are you similar with that then?
Exact same, mate, aye.
So I've been although the second one, I think the standard's been pretty decent so far. I probably like it better than the last couple of seasons at this point, personally.
Yeah. Okay, aye.
5 and 6. I think it's went downhill since 4, but I think this season's personally been a bit stronger than the last couple.
Aye. I think the Bet Noir ones brought it down a bit. But
still 3 to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You're up next. What is the next one? Just out of
no idea, mate.
I think it's maybe worth mentioning. So we'll be doing this in 2 weeks' time, or recording it in 2 weeks' time. Let me just quickly check that out. Probably should have checked that out beforehand, but
Plaything.
The next Plaything So, in a near London future, an eccentric murder suspect is linked to an unusual video game from the 90s, which hosts a society of digital life forms. So, kind of video game related. So, you'll quite enjoy that one.
Quite like that. Kind of, is it playtest is one as well for before? It's like a video game as
Yeah.
well.
And this one's only 46 minutes. The next two are like 46, 47 minutes. And then the USS Castor one's an hour 30. So
it's a feature film.
some of them are movie length and some of them are like TV show length. So it's quite interesting.
That is.
So just to start to round up, so we're Seismic Cinema. Hopefully you've enjoyed our review of Hotel Reverie, and you can check out our other Black Mirror reviews. We also did a ranking of our favorite Black Mirror episodes, which was James's second ever episode on the podcast.
Yep.
So you could check that out. So you can check us out on social media. Give us a wee follow. Give us a wee message. Get in touch. You can also watch and listen on YouTube, Spotify, and a range of other platforms. Please consider following, subbing, sharing, and just helping us out. We're 200 subscribers now on YouTube, and we want to try and make it towards 225 as the next target. And we're part of the Podpack Collective featuring Chatsunami, who we mentioned, and some other podcasts. So make sure you check them out. Give them a bit of love. So, James, we've reached this point of the episode where I'm going to reveal the 3 choices for my movie review for next week.
Okay.
So we're doing our kind of 2 on, 2 off at the moment. Right, so I'm going to give you a few synopses and you can tell me what you think.
Okay.
So, an insomniac office worker and a devil-may-care soap maker form an underground club that evolves into much more.
Say again?
An insomniac office worker and a devil-may-care soap maker.
Club.
Yeah. One of the classic ones that I've never seen, so it's on the
Fight Club, man. Jesus Christ.
No, I haven't, no.
What's the first rule of Fight Club?
I don't know because I've not seen it. Joking, I actually do not.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, but you just broke it because you don't want to talk about it. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, when their relationship turns sour, a couple undergoes a medical procedure to have each other erased from their memories forever, which is actually quite in keeping with things we've looked at recently.
Oh, I don't know that one.
So this was actually recommended to me by someone quite recently, and it's actually on Now TV, so it's one I've been thinking of watching anyway. It's in the IMDb Top 100, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's a Jim Carrey one.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
So I thought it kind of vibed quite nicely with things like The Truman Show, etc. as well.
Okay.
And the last one, entertaining story of 5 high schoolers who bond and bicker to dispel the boredom of a Saturday afternoon spent in detention.
The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I've never seen that one either. It's one I've had on my kind of list for a while to watch, but I've never watched it.
That's good, that.
You seen it?
Aye, it's good.
So that's my 3 choices: Eternal Sunshine, Fight Club, and The Breakfast Club.
Cool, good choices, mate.
That's the choices for this week.
Happy days. I'm happy with them, right?
So I'm Colin. I've usually not seen it. Paul, our editor, has watched it in the complete wrong order.
And I'm James, and I have probably written an essay on it.